here. Okay, Caleb, you have an NGO that's over 30 years, right?
That's correct. When I came to the U.S. when I went to the U.S. for study in the 80s, I wanted to go back to Haiti as a national missionary, and I had approached many mission organizations to see the possibility of them sending me, sending me back to Haiti, to which all of them said no. Even though the trend has changed today, but in the early 80s, that was the trend. Mm-hmm. And so as I contacted some of my friends that were in ministry, and they said, hey, you have a vision, you have plans of what you want to do, why don't you start your own organization? And that's when I founded Ocean International Ministries in 1984. Okay. And I just graduated from college. I was 24 years old. I was on my way to grad school. I graduated from Washington Bible College in Maryland, and then I was on my way to Dallas Seminary in Texas. So our desire was to basically, as a goal, to empower Haitians with the gospel through life skill training, education, leadership development, and business and economic development. So for the past, technically over 30 years, we've been working in Northern Haiti and work some when it comes to a situation like flooding in Haiti, like in 2004, 2008, 2010, 2016, where there were situations in different areas of the country. Ocean International Ministries intervene and make huge difference to the help of our supporters. Our focus has been in education, primarily at the beginning. Our community didn't have high school. So the first thing that we did was to build a high school. We started with 65 people in 1993, and we have a 980 school this year. We have had other situation where we went to other communities and work as well and provided support to other schools that were going on, but mostly in the area of teachers training and so forth. Then we work in business and economic development. Most NGOs that come to a place like Haiti, they always tell you that they have built a sustainable organization. Right. However, when rubber meets the road, you always see 5 to 10 years, they leave. But when they leave with the resources, they live with the supporters, and they live with everything that they had. And so whatever local ministries that they were able to work with, it disappears with them. So one of the plans that we have to maintain a sustainable work is in the area of business. So one of the first things I did was basically starting a restaurant. Now, one of the things people always say that a restaurant, usually you know if it is successful, if it's going to be successful, is if it survives the first 2 years. Fortunately for us, even though we are in a small community, we've been there for 5 years, and every single month we've been in the black, and it's been going perfectly well. The second business we started is a gas station. We built a gas station from scratch.
I saw it. I was there.
And our numbers are very good, and we're making profit right now ranging between $5,000 to $12,000 every single month. And the goal of those two businesses is to basically pour them into the ministry so we can continue to build that sustainable aspect of the work, so we don't have to monthly depend on the outside help. We've been also involved in churches ministry. I come from a family where my dad was the pastor. God called him home 2020. But my dad pastored for over 68 years. And in our family also, 3 of us have been trained. I've been to seminary. We went, 2 of us to Dallas Seminary. One of my younger brother went to Trinity Evangelical Divinity School in Chicago. And both of us have had a master's degree and I've returned to Haiti. I've came back in 1989. My brother who passed away almost 2 years ago now, went to Dallas Seminary, and my younger brother went to TEDS. So we, as a family, we have planted over 127 churches throughout the country of Haiti. And it's been going since 1977 with my father pastoring. We've been involved in camping. We have built a youth camp on a 30 acres property in Pillon, which has become a training center and a conference center as well. Since 2020, I had to basically do some new movements. With the passing of my brother, who was pastoring a school in Cape Haitian, a church in Cape Haitian, and 3 other churches, and a school and an orphanage. And so I moved to Cape Haitian partly to oversee the school, because in Pillon we have a better structure and it can run without me. And that's one of the goals that I had, because for 30 years, if you're running a ministry and you still have to be the one doing it, something is wrong. So we have a good structure. Some of our graduates have come back and they have been working at the school. So I do not have to be present in Pillon for the work to continue, because we have put in good structure, good delegation, and so it's going on well. So I'm in Cape Haitian most of the time. 75% of my time is in Cape Haitian right now, working with the school, working with the pastor in the church, and overseeing the other 3 churches and the children's home. Yeah. So in a nutshell, that's what what keeps me busy. Yeah. Right now, preaching about 3 times a week, being in the office or the school about close to 30 hours, okay. And continue the work.
And then Caleb, your graduation rate at the school with 980 students and passing the French exam, what is that? How are your statistics?
Our statistic ranges from around 95 to 99%.
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? That's really, 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 really good. I'm going to have Burge talk a little bit because he's got to leave. He started ministries clinics in Armenia, and I want you to just tell us a little bit about that, and then that way you won't be pressed for time. Burge, go ahead. Tell us what you did. You got to unmute yourself. This is Burge Kalajian, lives in Boston. Okay.
Hi, I'm Burge Kalajian from Boston. So basically, we started again 22 years ago. So we started to go to Armenia after our independence. And then the Nagorno-Karabakh, the independence there, we thought we started like everybody else's. We would go, few of us, we created an organization here for diaspora dentists. So we have the Canadians and Americans and all over Europe. And then, so we used to go, like Laurentis was saying, we go one week a year or 2 weeks a year. And then if you have 4 or 5 groups, we go, that will means that 8 or 10 weeks a year or something. We will have equipment and we go and try to do as many procedures as we can. People will sign up and do the thing. Few years, I mean, a couple of years later, I realized this is not sustainable. This is not really a good thing. The best way to start clinic which would be there for the whole year. So we opened the first clinic in 1998. And then it's a 2-chair facility, and we decided that the best way to do is actually to have local dentists, local assistants. So we hired the local staff. So we have a dentist, an assistant, and front desk and cleaner. And then it is a very good center location. People will come and they will, as many people, we advertise and they will know and they will come and do it. When we come, we'll do some more, but it was basically serving everything. And then from there, we opened a second one, a third one, and fourth one in a different region to serve local communities. And then we realized that there is a lot of need in the remote villages. So we got 2 mobile clinics who would go from village to village and basically station at one of the schools and then do some dentistry for whatever period of time and then come back. And again, so basically we were serving whoever comes in there. 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago, I realized, looking at the whole picture, and I was telling a little earlier, I think you were there, and Laurentis, I was saying, we have a very high caries rate in Armenia. And then, so as we were treating everybody else, as we're looking at the things, and they say, well, what can we do to improve things or to long term? Because if we continue doing what we're doing, we're really, okay, we're helping a little bit. We're putting Band-Aids, but we're not really doing long-term planning. Right. So the long-term planning shifted to pediatric dentistry. I realized that the best thing for a country or for everything is to take care of the children. So I switched the whole thing towards pediatric dentistry. So every one of the clinics basically, and we started training them. I mean, obviously, in between we train them. We have a group of us. We go 3 to 4 times a year. We teach, we give lectures, we give this. So when the mentality shifts, and I said, okay, then let's take care of the kids, so we can create a new generation, a healthier generation in terms of dental care. Yeah. So we started concentrating on that one, but then we realized that there's a lot of people who are not coming. I mean, the kids, they were coming who are in pain, which is defeat our purpose. So that's not. Right. So we went to schools. So we created. The one thing I want to mention, that's one of the main things that we really started to work on when we started creating this and thinking of long term. I was thinking long term. I mean, I may be here for 5 or 10 years, but how can I do something that's going to be really long term? Mm-hmm. So then I started to have very good connections with the local ministries in terms of health ministry and education ministry. So I have a very good contact with that one, a good relation. So the community can trust us, that can really think, and the authorities can help us with that. Because with the next thing we realized, I mean, there's a lot of people are not coming except for pain. So how can you reach them? So we started sending our staff 2 or 3 times a year to schools. So we go and screen them. We have, the DMFT, which is the national or the international way of measuring decay and missing teeth and restoration. So we went there with teams and us, and then we taught our teams, and then we would go to schools and then screen everybody. And then once we see what's happening there, then we reached out to the school community, the school director, other people in there to bring them to the clinic. So we were making sure that everybody is getting the care. So whether it was at the beginning in the schools, we'd have fluoride to all the kids there, then from there coming to our clinics, and we start stressing fluoride and then sealants and then early prevention and all the education, all the stuff, and it paid. I mean, I have statistics of where we got and where we are now, and then we continue more and more from that. I mean, our stuff didn't stop. As you know, in Qarabakh, we lost the war in Qarabakh, so with Azeris, so we lost 2 clinics and 2 mobile clinics. But now we're building a couple more in a different region. And people ask me, well, why are you doing that? Are you stupid? I mean, you may lose it again. I said, it doesn't matter. As long as I can help somebody every day for as long as I can, that will be the best thing. So we're continuing and we're growing, and I have programs. But the point I'm saying here, just one thing, is if you're thinking long term, you have to look at the demographic, and you have to look at how can you really serve the population for longest. And to me, I think is the kids. Is if you start earlier and you have them do and you teach everybody the proper prevention, then this is what's going to be for long term. And then if you don't have people who are there and then have the skin in the game, if you're just relying on a few people who are coming from here for 1, 2 weeks and 3 weeks or 4 weeks, that doesn't give you the real continuation. It does not give you a good statistics, does not give you a good message. And then if you really pair up with the local authorities, and they'll have a skin in the game because they see the advantage of this, even if they contribute whatever it is. I mean, when the beginning, when we say, okay, you pay for the electricity and the phone line, which is nothing, but we want them to be there, part of this thing. They believe that this is part of our communal thing, and we contribute.
Yeah, I'm going to discuss that with Caleb here. That's a good point. So I'll tell you what, Burge, and your emphasis on hygiene is good too. Well, how did you fund your program?
Funding our program was originally from us, a couple of organizations that we went to, and personally me and a few guys. Yeah. And I said, 10 years down the road, when I convinced there was a stage where I couldn't really fund anymore because the cost was going up, and then the donors were getting less. Then I approached the government. I went to the health minister, I went to the prime minister, and I said this: there are 2 things. Okay. Here it is. There is running clinic with the results. You can have them. I'll donate it for you. It's already, anyway, it's donated if you want it. Or if you want us to continue doing it, then you'll contribute to that. And then since then, they started to basically contributing and paying salaries, which is justifiable for them. Because every country, everybody, if you are employing more people, so this is justifiable for the fund, for the public fund.
All right, good.
And that's how it is. Thank
you very much.
So now actually they cover about 60% of our salaries.
Okay. I was going to introduce Elliot, but he couldn't stay on. So I'm going to just show you something here. And then I'm going to ask you to just bear with me a second. I want to show you something. This is that. Can you see that okay?
Yeah.
All right. This is that clinic plan. Now, this plan, I need to clarify some things because Burge pointed out to me that the structure of this plan was that I would put equipment and training into local clinics. And then eventually, after a certain number of years, they would own that. These dentists, the local dentists would own it. We're no longer using that model now. We're planning on building a building. We've got one picked out, and I'll show it to you. And then the whole ministry will be owned by Lucian, the building and the equipment. and also the dentist that we're going to be working with, who will control really the day-to-day operations in the clinic. And I'll show you her picture in just a second here. Here she is. We'll rip that up and I'll just get this up for you. We'll go to Facebook here. So up here, this is the clinic here, the building that we looked at. And if you look at it closer, there's lots of room in this building. Do you know how many square feet this is, Caleb? You're kind of muted right now, so. Don't know? Okay. Caleb, we can't hear you. That's it. There you go.
No, I have not received it yet because they don't want to give me the survey piece of it because we have not made any financial commitment yet in terms of, and again, that's when we'll have all the details.
All right. Let's go to my site here. Then we'll just show you. I'm going to show you more of the pictures of the clinic. I'm sorry, go get around to all this stuff here, but essentially, let's see here. I'll find it for you. Well, I must have changed it. Anyway, we have lots of clinic pictures here. The gal that wants to work with us is also a Dominican Republic, just graduated, and we had her on the website there, and she is agreed to be in the clinic. So I'm just going to show you a little bit more of what this clinic looks like, but I thought I had a whole bunch of pictures here, and I don't.
You even had a video.
I do have a video. You've seen that video, right, Laurentis?
I have, but I don't know if it got deleted from your page or what, but it was gone after a couple of days.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's interesting. So anyway, we have somehow there's missing pictures in here, and I'm not sure why. It's kind of strange. So anyway, let's just talk a little bit about it. The whole idea behind the clinic is that it would will bring in dentists from the U.S. that would fly in and do destination education. They've done this in the Dominican Republic, and they've done this in other places around. Oh, here's some more pictures right here. I'm going to get you a few pictures here. So essentially, it's really interesting. There's like the whole thing doesn't want to work. See that? I'm not sure what's going on.
Just click. Okay.
No, there's some more. So this is one of the excursions we went on, okay, out to an island on this boat called the Discovery. And Caleb was escorted out there with his Optimus group, okay? Let me show you some more. So that's an excursion that the people can go on. This is the inside of the building. And then here's the pictures I was looking for right here. So this is the hotel where guests would stay who come. It's a very nice hotel. I can't remember the name of this hotel. What was it called?
Rival.
Rival. And that's the kind of, and this is the rooms. They're very nice. You can see the rooms. And then it has a beautiful view of the ocean. The actual ship that comes to take us out can come right up to the hotel. So we don't really have to travel on the roads to get to the clinic. Get to this excursion. There is a short drive to the clinic from the hotel. And so they can have a very nice, we can do lectures here. We can have people stay here. And then they can go to the clinic, and we have room in the clinic for people to eat lunch there. And then in the evening, we can come back. The plan for the clinic is that people would pay their tuition to to the instructor. Some of these people are charging anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000 for a 5-day course in implantology and bone grafting. The clinic would take a minimum of $4,000 of that, and then also would also have a minimum of a certain amount that a group could use the clinic for. So, and I think that $4,000 minimum for the use of the clinic for 5 days would be the way we'd do it. We might include the cost of the hotel in that package. I don't like to nickel and dime people to death, so we want to make sure that we don't give them the feeling that for everything they do that they have to make another fee. Okay. So and this is the Lucian Ministries where people can donate. The other thing that we plan to do, or my vision is that when they come in to use the clinic, they would also be room for missionary groups, like people that do come in, like Laurentis has done in the past, people who might want to come in for a couple of weeks to give away dental care. They would also have to pay a fee, because generally it would cost them a little less or maybe the same as it would if they actually went there and paid their own way. I think they'd like the facility better. We plan to make this facility at least air conditioned. When I went down there a few years ago, it was so beastly hot that I couldn't stand it. I just said that I would never do it again. So this is essentially the inside of the building. It is pretty decent structure. It's got a lot of room, upper and lower floor. This balcony is really big. You can see the inside. This is the first floor. Okay. And you can see that it is a very nice facility. It's got steel beam supports, and that's the kitchen area right there. Okay, which can be upgraded and modernized. There's plenty of room here for sterilizers and storage. The windows would have to be replaced with some kind of insulation so that we don't waste air conditioning energy. This is the second floor, and then that goes up to the roof. And then you see there's a large room here, 2 bathrooms there, another large room here, and then over here is a very large room, which is pretty expansive, and then another closet and bathroom up there. Then you have the deck, which could be shaded for people to eat lunch outside or have any kind of a social gathering. This is a very large deck. And then we will go up on the ceiling. By the way, this building in the back here, this building right here, is part of the property. You see a veranda there. This is the back side of the building. Okay. And so that building would be also included, and the land behind it is included. Now they want $300,000 for this building. I don't know if that's negotiable or not. Is it, Caleb?
No, because they had asked more than that. Again, it's the whole property that has you going up.
Goes all the way up here to that fence. It also includes this building up here, which has the water cistern in it. You can go up on the roof. And we'll show you what that looks like in just a second. By the way, there's lots of pretty nice, I think the plumbing is okay in this place, but they haven't used these bathrooms in quite a while. So we may have to replace some of the plumbing in this place. This is another closet, which is just a storage area. You could put a lot of stuff in here. We thought of putting a lab on this upper floor, and maybe in that smaller room over there, a chiropractic place, because the chiropractors are also interested in this building and want to have a destination place for practicing their field of expertise. So I'm okay with, if we have room, why not put in a chiropractic component. Now we're going to go upstairs to the top floor. and out onto the roof. And you can see this is the roof. And now we're looking over capation here. There's a satellite dish. We would probably have to get all of our internet from the satellite, I would think, Caleb, right?
Well, there is fiber optic right now.
Fiber optic?
Fiber optic line.
Okay. All right. That's fine. This land is also part of the property. It goes over to that fence. And that's the cistern up there that holds the water for both the school that Caleb has and also this property. Water comes right down through here. And so we would have good water pressure.
It's over there.
That's the
Up to that
fence.
wall, yes.
It's more of the
Yeah,
property.
The big house there.
Yeah. And then this could be finished off. We would need railings up here so people don't get in danger. That's the driveway up to the place, and you can see it's not in terrible shape. And there's some more that probably needs some resurfacing or maybe replacement. Okay. So this project, I'm thinking, is going to cost somewhere in the neighborhood of $300,000 for the building and another maybe 700 grand to equip it properly and have the security that it needs. Let me get rid of this.
Does that 700 include renovations and equipment and everything?
I think so. Would you think that's too little, Laurentis?
Not necessarily. I just, I did, you saw the building, so, you kind of know the bones and what needs to be done to it.
Yeah. Well, I think the walls all need to be painted. The floors probably need some reworking. The stairways need reworking. I mean, as far as resurfacing, it's more of a cosmetic problem. Now, I don't know what the plumbing's like and the electricity. I haven't had a lot of, I don't have enough expertise to evaluate that, but I would think the electricity in the walls is okay. And we do have outlets. We'd have to probably evaluate the fuse boxes and its capacity. But again, you pretty much.
Well, we have to basically, we cannot count on what exists. We have to set up a system that is compatible with the needs that we have.
All right.
The whole building will need to be rewired. The plumbing will be, the plumbing in the housing, we need to change the bathtub, and there's a bunch of junk. I don't know if just cleaning. I think we're looking into $100,000 to $125,000 just to do renovation and put it to the level that we need it.
Well, I was kind of thinking that too, Caleb, and then another $550,000 to $600,000 to equip it with the proper equipment that we need to run the clinic. So I'm thinking, right around $1 million to do this project. Okay. So we just need to, I think the biggest needs then is first of all, getting the funding to secure the building. They need $100,000 down payment to secure the building, and then we have to pay it off within what is about a year, or how long would they wait for the remainder of the money, Caleb?
They're given, and the way he puts it is it is flexible in terms of how we want to pay for it.
Okay.
If it takes a year or two, we fine with it, and but we can start working and do what we need to do.
All right. So the immediate need is 100 grand to secure the building, and then keep raising money till we get it paid off, and also begin some of the cosmetic work on the building. I think as people see the vision and see a tangible thing, they would be likely to be interested in participating. It's always good to see something that you're working with than it is to just hear about it and not be able to see a tangible idea of what we're going to be doing. We could also divide up the project into little projects, like a driveway cost this much, the plumbing cost this much, electricity costs this much. But we can't do any of that really until we secure the down payment. Go ahead, Laurentis.
I was going to say two things. Number one, so where are we with the $100,000? And the second thing is, if we could, put together some type of presentation, I think that'll go a long way with securing additional funds.
I agree. I tell you what, Laurentis, I don't think this would be too difficult to do if we just get people, get their interest. But my feeling is right now we have about $25,000 into that 100,000 goal. So we got about another 75,000 to go. I plan on putting in another 24,000 probably within the week or two. Okay. I'm just, talking to my accountant, and we're, putting in some funds. So I suspect that we're going to need about 50 grand, Laurentis, to go over and above that to get the secure 100,000.
Okay. And I have not made a donation yet. I was kind of just waiting to see,
Oh, okay.
where we were.
Yeah. And you're in
Now that you see my good looking face.
Well, Caleb, we have already met. We've talked before.
Did you, Laurentis, did you talk to him before?
Uh-huh.
I don't remember that.
I think you are the one in Alabama, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Good.
we talked. We have not met in person, but we've talked.
No.
Laurentis has been a pastor as well as a dentist, Caleb.
Yes, I remember that.
Right?
Yes.
He's an amazing guy, and he's really well respected among our Fortune group. Everybody loves Laurentis, and so.
And let's see. I'm driving from Tallahassee to Nashville next week.
Really? You
Yes.
want to do some fundraising, Caleb?
No,
I can give you my number. If you come through here, you can stop by.
All right. I'm going to the National Broadcasting Network convention in Nashville.
Okay.
Because as you know, we have a small radio station in Pillon at the school.
Okay.
And so we are trying to see what can be done with it.
Okay.
And try to upgrade it and put it out. Right now we have an audience of about over 100,000 people. And so
are you going to make appeal to them?
Well, right now, one of the things we're going to do is a 20 minutes recording video that they would be broadcasting to the Overcoming Network.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the main goal, and then just do some networking there.
Laurentis, do you want to do a promotional video with me?
Yeah, I was just thinking of who we could get to do it, and I envision, like, if we could get a mock-up of what the clinic looked like, what we want it to look like, so that people can catch the vision. Everyone can't future pace or see things in their head, so
I'm not sure how we would do that. I would need.
What I can do is basically I can see if I can get an authorization from the owner, and then I can have my engineer go into it and then basically do a floor plan.
Oh, I'd like to have that. And maybe you can do an artistic rendering of the outside and how it might look.
Yeah, people who do that can do some amazing things with
much more talented than me.
With it with the version of it.
Yeah.
Okay. I would love to do that. And I just, by the way, Laurentis, are you a member of the Optimist? What's the name of our group?
Rotary.
Rotary, I keep going the wrong way. The Rotary, are you a member of Rotary at all, Laurentis?
I am not.
Oh, okay. Any other service clubs you're a member of?
No, just my fraternity.
Okay, okay. I just thought, because I'm going to present, just getting something together for my Rotary, which is next Tuesday. So I'm going to talk to them. Because I think the Rotaries are very supportive, and Caleb is really, really involved in Rotary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it was a great program. As a matter of fact, we had a Rotary program the whole week I was there, and he was inviting me to all their events. I was like, wow, this is really pleasantly. It was so pleasant to meet those people. It was just amazing what they're doing.
We have more than 4-way tests. We have 5-way tests. Rotary has 4-way tests. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build good friendship?
Oh, yeah.
Will it be beneficial to all?
Mm-hmm.
And then we add, will it be fun? So we
Right.
have
That's a big one. And I'll tell you what, I've never had more fun with a group than those Rotary guys. They knew how to party. Oh man, it was pretty good. That's part of that trip that I was showing you, Laurentis. That trip was just astounding. Just like Hawaii, it's just beautiful, and in many ways it's better. So anyway, well, I think then I guess.
so is everyone that came on the call interested in joining the board, or are we?
Yes,
What's
Elliot agreed to be on the
taking
board. Burge agreed to be on board, and we have actually more people. Some of them are in Arizona right now. The chiropractor, for instance, is in Arizona at a meeting. And one called me today, wanted to be on tonight. My friend, a dentist in Omaha, and for some reason he didn't show. He must have something came up. But Amanda Testacanto is also interested. Ralph Burke and his wife are interested. They all want to be on the board. They wrote that they were doing so. So we've got at least.
Is JW still interested?
What's that?
JW?
JW is still interested, yes.
Okay.
He's in Africa right now, so he's really busy. I mean, he built a whole new business in Africa, remote patient or remote office employees. And they've really built a big new building up in Africa. And I thought that he might be able to use part of our building for some of his telemarketing or telemedicine services. And so JW might be a tremendous asset for us. Oops.
Okay.
Here's Matt or Mr. Dr. LaRosa. So, hey, Matt. Are you there? He's trying to connect his audio here. So, can you hear us okay, Matthew? We can't hear you. All right. We've had two people leave, Matthew, and we're still in the middle of talking. I will give you a copy of this recording for the Zoom meeting so that you can see what we did tonight, Matt. But I do want you to talk. I want you to introduce yourself. See if he comes in.
I think he's on now.
Are you on, Matthew?
Yeah, I just tuned in.
Oh, okay, good. Thanks. So I'm gonna stop my screen share here and just bring you up. So Matthew, I was showing them the photos of the clinic. Did you see it all? What the clinic looks like?
Just what you sent me the other day.
Pictures, right? Did I send
Yeah.
you the video as well, Matthew?
I don't think so.
Now, the reason Matthew's online is he's the first doctor who does implant training that I thought might be interested in presenting and bringing groups to this clinic. And he was kind of surprised because he's been doing lectures in implantology for the Shatkin group mainly, right, Matthew?
Yeah.
And then, so I kind of tweaked his mind and his interest in the possibility of doing this himself. And so up on the upper left here is Caleb Lucian. He is the head of Hosien Ministries, and the clinic would be located on church land, which is owned by Hosien Ministries. He's been there for 30 years, Matthew, and
Wow.
he's really got a successful. Not only has he planted more than 100 churches in Haiti, but gas station, restaurant, and schools, among many other things, because he believes in sustainable missions that are self-sustainable, like we're planning for this mission. We want it to be a self-sustaining mission. And he also has plans that it will still continue when he's no longer here on the earth. And I think that's what we want to accomplish as well. And then on the lower left, we have Dr. Laurentis Barnett. He's a dentist from a friend of mine from Alabama. And Laurentis has gone to mission trips many, many times, many more times than I have. He knows the country better than I do. But he's always wanted to have a kind of a permanent clinic, and might be seeing this as a way to accomplish what he has been dreaming of doing as well. And so, and then Dr. Kalajian has left. He started clinics in Armenia. He's gone now, but he gave us some good advice. I want to ask you, Caleb, do you have some questions for Matt as far as a possible lecturer there? And Matt, I just want to know what your thoughts are too. You probably got questions since I talked to you last.
I probably have a lot more questions than answers.
Yeah. Well, why don't you give us one? We might not get through them all, but we can start.
Well, one, what is your timetable for opening the actual clinic?
I think it's going to be about a year at least. If we can get the $100,000 down payment on the buildings to secure it, the owners will give us flexibility to get it paid off. It's $300,000 to get the building and get it purchased. The land, the building includes another building and the land, lots of land, and a cistern for water, which is a really nice, good thing. But the building itself needs to be new wiring, new plumbing, and overhauled. But the walls and structure are pretty solid. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what we're at. Once we get the building secured, we can begin some of the infrastructure in electrical and plumbing, and make sure that we have a building plan where we know where we're going to put the equipment. There's a chiropractic group that also wants to use the building for destination education, Matthew, since I talked to you last. Okay.
Okay.
What else?
Just the whole logistics about, how are you getting the equipment in there? What kind of equipment are you going to have, and
Question.
how would you go about, marketing for this and getting, some kind of organization that I don't know. I have, any place I've ever worked with has already been established, I guess you'd say. There's a group I go to in Atlanta. I've done a lot of work with Sam Lee. I've done a lot of work with Todd. And I did some work with Brower in the past. I don't know how you get something like this started. And
Well, I can't say I'm an expert at that.
Yeah.
I think
In terms of getting the equipments from the US and getting them to Haiti is not that difficult. It's just good coordination, good packaging. So in the transport, that there is there are two ways we can ship through land, through airline, missionary flights, or we can ship by boat. With the sensitive equipment, it might be best that we do it by airplane, depending on the size of them. But that shouldn't be, once we get the building secure and we start soliciting funds for the equipment, it would be getting them to Haiti instead of the clinic will not be that much of an issue.
Yeah, one of the board members that was going to be on a call tonight, Matthew, is J.W. Oliver. And he used to own a used dental equipment company called buydentalequipment.com. So he's very familiar on where to get the equipment, how to get it for a lower cost. He also has access to new equipment. And being that he's already been to Haiti and he believes in the project, he would give us good prices. I'm pretty sure that he would give us prices close to his cost or maybe at his cost. Okay. Missionary Flights International, I took that prop plane to Haiti, and it's basically a cargo plane, Matthew. And they had all kinds of cargo in there. As a matter of fact, they had so much cargo in there, they had room for four seats because they only had 4 passengers. But if they have lots of cargo, they put in few seats. If they have little cargo, but they're flexible. They can put in 32 seats and bring over at least 32 people at a time if they want to. So the plane is useful. And Missionary Flights International comes out of Fort Pierce, Florida, which is about a little hour north of the Palm Springs Airport, which is where I landed from Iowa.
West Palm Beach.
West Palm Beach. I flew into there, and I took a rental car up to Fort Pierce, and they have a nice Hertz guy there that'll let you do a one-way car, very, very inexpensive. And there's a compound there where there's bunk beds where you can stay before you leave, which cost you $15 a night. So that's a pretty decent thing. I liked all that because
that is if you choose to use MFI, but there is commercial airlines, Spirit flies there.
And commercials do too. I saw Spirit Airlines go in there too. So you can do that.
Spirit Airlines flies every day.
Yeah, they fly every day. The Missionary Flights only flies in on Thursday and Tuesday, right?
That's correct.
That's right. Yeah, which is okay. I mean, it might work for some people. And as far as fundraising, 2 years ago, when I looked at this project, Matthew, I called about 14 of the main lecturers around the country. I even contacted Todd Shatkin, and they were interested in actually teaching here at this clinic. If it was done right and it had a really state-of-the-art equipment, which I hope to have, which we plan to do, I would like to have at least 1 or 2 cone beams in this office. And I think the cone beams themselves will become an income center because there will be medical examiners in the city that will send people there for imaging. I'm pretty sure of it. The lab itself will probably produce some income. And as you said, one of the deficiencies of the problems that the clinics that you saw, Matthew, was that they were putting in implants, but they weren't restoring them. We're not planning to do that. I think that would appeal to people. Is that your kids, Matthew?
Yeah, they're doing homework.
Okay, good. What other questions do you have, Matthew? I think that, yeah, it would require some work. I think it mainly would require just phone calls and persuasion. Really, that's what I think. When they see the hotel that we can stay at, it's absolutely beautiful, and the excursion, I think that would appeal. The Citadel is very close too. We could probably do a trip to the Citadel if people wanted to. All right. So anyway, that's, I think the clinic has to have a minimum fee for a group to use it. And I don't think that would be too hard for people to come up with if they were having groups come over there. Also, Matthew, I think that another thing would happen is there are missionary groups that want to come over and donate time. They would have to pay to use the clinic as well, but I think they would do it if they didn't have to bring all their stuff with them. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be another group that would come in. I think there are dental schools that might use this. And
Did Todd tell you he's opening a dental school?
yeah, you told me that, Matthew, that he's going to put a dental school together. That's a great idea. And I wouldn't mind having Todd. I would love to have Todd come over and teach classes in here. But I'm afraid to let him take over because his big personality, he might
Yeah.
throw his weight around. Yeah.
Yeah, he will for sure. But if you approach it in a way that, maybe your senior dental students or your residents could come down here a week at a time
Yeah.
and just be affiliated rather than him just take over, he might be all right with that because
We could, he could buy a chair or two and we could put his name on a plaque somewhere. I don't care.
yeah, I'm sure he would do that in a heartbeat.
I think you would. I mean, I wouldn't mind advertising his program. What the heck? He has
Yeah.
probably one of the best mini implant lectures I've ever seen. I don't think there's anything that would hold a candle to what he does for introductory to mini implants. Matter of fact, Laurentis, I'm recommending you go to him.
Okay.
Todd Chatkin, Buffalo, New York. You will love it. Absolutely love it. Great program. Along with your expertise in regular implants, you should learn minis. I think people should learn minis after the regular though. Don't you, Matthew?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of learned them at the same time, but the guys that just learn minis and think that's all they have to do, they're the ones that get themselves in trouble.
That's right.
The guys that know how to do both recognize where one is more appropriate or where one is going to be more successful.
Right. Yeah. Well, good. So Matthew, how about, you have some more questions?
Not really. I just
Yeah.
kind of want to see how this thing was all going to unfold,
I think we're going to raise the 100 grand first, secure the building, and then there'll be a lot more discussions going on about as people see it. I think the idea of getting artistic rendering of what the clinic will look like is really important. Caleb says he can get that done. And then Laurentis and I are going to do a promotional video. And if you want to promote it in any way you want to, Matthew, just let us know how you'd like to do that.
Okay.
That'd be great. I just really appreciate your input and your questions because that's exactly what everybody else is going to ask. Caleb, anything you want to say before we get going?
Well, we just play the money in.
Okay. Say that
And
again.
then
We just need to get the money in, right?
yeah, we just have to pray that God provides it.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to people, as we travel,
Yeah.
and in addition to a promotional video, we may have to do a brochure that we can hand out to people when we meet them.
Right.
And just a case brochure.
Okay.
And then go from there.
All right. Working on a brochure. I can work on that brochure if you'd like. Okay.
Okay.
At least the written part of it. And then Caleb, if you want let's do another meeting. Maybe you want to do that in about a week. Is that too soon, guys?
A week I'm going to be in meetings in Nashville. Let's see, today is Thursday. Next Thursday I'm going to be in meetings in Nashville, so it might be difficult.
Okay.
Maybe a week after.
Week after. Okay. 2 weeks from
Yes.
now. Let's do
Yes,
that.
2 weeks from now.
And in that meantime, Laurentis, I'll chat with you about, the promotional video. I mean, if you got some, I don't know, really, you might have more expertise at that than I do, but I'd be happy to work with you.
Okay.
All right. Matthew, anything you want to ask before we quit?
Not really.
Okay.
Sorry, I came in a little bit late. I got a little distracted when I got
Oh,
home, but
no problem. It's all right. We first meeting went pretty well, I think. So I appreciate that. All right, guys, I'm gonna let you go. I'll send you a copy of this recorded meeting, okay, so you can have it.
All
All
right.
right, Rick, give Caleb my number so he can call me when he comes through the area.
Caleb, write this number
Oh.
down, would you? Got a pen?
Yes, I do.
He wants to speak. I want you to meet each other because you guys are, that'd be great.
What is it?
Go ahead, Laurentis.
205
Okay.
457
Okay.
2706.
2706. 205 457 2706.
Matthew, where are you located in Florida?
I'm in Orlando.
You're in Orlando. Where are you landing, Caleb?
Oh, I'll be driving to Orlando to go see my grandson.
Yeah, well, just, you,
I'll be driving on Sunday.
okay. So
Thank
anyway,
you, to see my grandson.
yeah. Anyway, I just wanted you guys to be able to talk to each other when you can. So if you'd like to chat with each other, just let the other person know, okay?
All right.
All right, thank you.
All right, you guys.
Thank
Have a
you,
good night.
guys.
God bless you all.
Bye.
Bye.